Hello everybody, this is your speech instructor Jeff Prisbillo, and I wanted to give you a little bit of advice on recording your first speech. This is an online course, so you're going to be doing quite a bit of recording yourself and submitting it to our class. So I wanted to give you some baseline advice on recording a speech from a technical standpoint, almost from a cinematic standpoint. And the first thing that you need to consider is your location. Notice how I have placed myself in the corner of a room. I've got a couple of, trinkets behind me. I've got some masks that my wife put up on the wall, but it's a nice kind of neutral space to do my speech. I'm not laying in my bed. I'm not standing outside by my fire pit or sitting on my patio. I've chosen a nice professional location to do my speech. Typically when we do speeches in this class, I'm going to ask you to stand for your speech. For this first introductory speech, you can go ahead and sit at your desk if you prefer, just like I'm doing now, but I really would like it if you would stand and then put the camera angle about waist high. So we don't need to see your entire body, but we want to see you from about the waist to the top of your head so we can see your gestures and tight enough so we can see your face. If you're using your cell phone to record your speeches, you can use the Zoom feature. But if you're using your computer, you want to place your computer in a place where it's kind of getting that angle. Next, don't forget to dress up a little bit. You don't want to look like a slob when you're presenting your speech, right? So right before I recorded this, I was sitting here in a t-shirt. I ran upstairs, I put on a nice black shirt, and now I look a little more professional as I perform the speech for you. So you want to look like this is a special occasion, not an occasion where you're just kind of sitting around doing your homework. The next thing you want to consider is your lighting. You want to make sure that we can see your face. One of the things that's going to be important in a speech class is one, that we can see you, but also that we can read your facial expressions. One of the keys to good lighting is to make sure that the light is always in front of you. A lot of students record their speeches in front of a window, and they think that's a nice setting, but it's not. You want to have yourself against a blank wall with nothing behind you, no light behind you. I do have this lamp back here, but I never really turn it on. It's more just for decoration. So don't have any light behind you. It's also kind of not good to have light right above you. Now, I bought one of those ring lights. You can get them online for $30-40. If you're going to be doing a lot of Zooming and online presentations, you might want to purchase one of those lights. Mine has a nice little stand on it, so it's lighting me up really nice. Mine in particular has a remote that I can use to push things up and down. But all you really need is to put a couple lamps in front of you. But really, the ideal way to record in terms of lighting is to do your speech during the day and be in front of your sliding glass door or your front door or a window of some kind. Natural light in front of you is the best way to light yourself for these kind of things. The next thing you want to think about is the sound. You want to test your sound out. So record a video, see how you sound, adjust your settings if you need to. You may have a microphone that has gone out on your computer. You could always buy external microphones on Amazon. They're actually pretty cheap. So just make sure your sound is set really nice and that you have a decent microphone to be recording. Most microphones on your laptop computers are good, and the microphones on cell phones nowadays are actually also really good. There are various kinds of cameras you can use. Right now I'm using the camera that's on my iMac. So that's a pretty good one. It doesn't zoom. That's the drawback of that one. Most people are recording speeches like this on their cell phone. And I highly recommend going on Amazon and purchasing a tripod. You can get a really cheap tripod that you clip your cell phone into for really a couple dollars. Sometimes as low as $5-6. You can get a really nice one for maybe $10 or $15. That way your camera is steady and you can put it wherever it is you need it. Hit the record button, step in front of it, and do your speech. So you want to make sure you have a tripod. You want to make sure things are steady. What you don't want is a friend holding the camera and the camera angle is wobbling the whole time. You want something nice and steady. So I really recommend a tripod if you can, or figuring out a way for you to place your cell phone on top of some books or leaned up against something. Next thing you want to do is practice your speech a couple of times. Time it a couple of times. You don't want the first time you're doing your speech the time that you record it. So a little bit of practice goes a long way. And then don't be afraid to do your speech over. I get a lot of students who upload a speech and it's terrible. And I think to myself, why did you upload a terrible speech? You are just recording it. So record it, and if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to go, then re-record it and then submit the one that is best. So that's it overall. To review, pick a great location with no light behind you. Typically you want to stand for a speech. For this first one you can sit. You want to dress up just a little bit so that you're looking really nice. You want to make sure your lighting is good, no light behind you, putting the light in front of you. Consider purchasing one of those light rings. Make sure you test your sound and you're using a good microphone. Purchase a tripod or rent one or borrow one from someone if you can. Time your speech. Practice your speech, and if you're not happy with it, do it over. So I hope this was helpful. I'm looking forward to seeing your first crack at doing a speech online. Take it easy.